Alright, we are back. Today we're going to be continuing our journey through Wolfquest 2.7 into the second episode known as Slough Creek. This is basically about passing on your genetics to your pups and keeping them alive. So, survival of the pack is going to be a little bit more tricky than our first quest, but let's see how we can do this. Let's see if we can survive. So if you hadn't noticed, we are joined with Spruce, though the pop-up just blocked out. Anyway, so this is our first quest that we're going to be needing to do, and it's called Find a Den. There are, a bit of a warning here, 2 secrets that are in-game secrets that are going to be revealed, so if you don't want to see those, it's a bit of a spoiler, then don't watch this video. But because this is Star, who has a ton of XP, we're going to be going into those 2 secrets. Which leads me to what we do next. In order to find a den, we're going to need to look for these little white icons on the compass. As you can see, again, Spruce has joined us. Let's hope he can help me with something. So if you notice, there's actually 4 dens, not 3, and if you've played this game before, you know there's actually 3 dens. But if you reach a certain XP cap, there are 4, which is one of the secrets. The secret den, which is the one I'm hovering over right now. So, originally there's a Saddle Meadows den, there's one in Aspen Heights, and there's one near Bison Peak Cutoff. As you can see, there is wolf territory, we just don't go to them, and we try to avoid it as much as possible. That's where stranger wolves will come into play later. So, we're going to review the den choosing and selecting. I'm going to basically go to each of the 3 dens, and you're going to see what they look like. So let me just make my way downhill here, very slowly. And when we get there, I will let you know. Alright, here we are. We're near the first den, commonly known as Saddle Meadows Den. Now if you notice, it's close to a hunting ground like all the other dens. However, these hunting grounds will move when we transition to spring. Just remember that. And when you do get close to these den, you'll enter a den site where you can possibly locate a den. They'll say nearby den. Now all you need to do is search and locate the den within the green dot, or the area in which the compass shows you. That's pretty much all you need to do. It's your first starting point, and I'll just show you where it is right here. I happen to know where it's located, but it's only because I've played this a lot. So this is what it looks like. It's basically like a tumble of rocks with a broken down tree. Now, if you get close to it, it'll say choose den. You say keep looking or make this my den. However, I promised to show all 3 dens, so we're just gonna say keep looking. Alright, we are back. I'm almost to the second den site, which is Aspen Heights. It's the furthest away from the rendezvous site. And it has, I think, a somewhat close hunting ground, but not as close as one of the others. I can't remember which one has the closest, but we'll get into that in a moment. So, I'm going to show you where this one's located. That was a snow hare. Fun fact, when you're in Slough Creek, you will notice that the hare is actually white rather than brown like in Amethyst Mountain. That's because we've transitioned to winter. So some of the animals will have some features that they would in real life during the winter, like the hare, and then in the spring they'll return to the normal brown color. I'm going to eat because my wolf is a little hungry. I'm going to go ahead and head over to this den. Do a few pushes on my way. Now this is what the den site looks like. It's basically like a small little cave. It has rocks around it. You can sort of see into the inside, but as with all of these dens, you will not actually be able to go inside the den. This is just a feature that Wolfquest decided was not important enough to be in the den. And this game. So I'm going to keep looking again because I did promise to show you all 3 of the dens before I chose one. I forgot to point out one thing. Each den will have its own features. This one is some distance from the elk grounds and the nearest Wolfpack territory. So considering how far it is away from the rendezvous site, it's not really the best. Considering that this is probably one of the worst dens to have. It's rather scenic, I mean, compared to the rest of the dens, but still. I would not go with it if I can. If you can help it. Alright, we are back again. I am in the general location of the 3rd and final den, which is the Bison Peak Cutoff Den. Now, as you can see, it is actually a tree with a tumble of rocks. And again, there's a little sort of den entrance, but you can't actually go inside it. So, elk hunting grounds are nearby for this den, but it's also the closest to Wolfpack territory, I believe. However, this is also the closest den to the rendezvous site. I think I am actually going to choose this den just for practical purposes, but before that, I'm going to go into my next step, which rather than choosing a den, I'm actually going to go hunting. Now, you might get a little bit confused by this. You would say, why you shouldn't you hunt in the spring when your pups are getting hungry? Well, Wolfquest is not necessarily the most perfect game, and because this is a game, not necessarily real life, elk carcasses that you hunt now will actually stay throughout the spring. And it's one of the go-to strategies of keeping your pups alive. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and when I get a few over here by the den, I'll show you. But, quick note, you'll want to try and herd the elk as close as you can to the den so you can go by and get food and come back to your pups rather quickly. There is something very useful about Spruce, and I did tell you this previously, but your wolf is immortal. At least Spruce is. I'm not. Star is definitely not immortal, but Spruce is. Again, so that's very useful in the aspect that you can do this sort of bite and run strategy. So I'm going to show you what I mean by coming up. I'm going to find a weak elk, and then I'm going to chase it, and you'll see what I mean in just a moment. Okay, so I'm going to bite down, and instead of resting like I normally would, I'm going to go ahead and run after it because Spruce will stay with the elk and continue to bite it as long as possible. Even though you've already extended your energy, as long as you stay close, he will continue to bite down. And I call this a bite and run strategy, just for the fun of it. Now, I am going to howl because I may have gotten the health bar a little bit too low. And the reason why I do this is because I want to hurt the elk without Spruce continuously biting on the elk. So I distract him, and now I run up. Now, he won't bite because I've unfocused on the elk in a sense, and he'll wait for me, and I'm gonna lead it to the den over there. As you can see it, maybe if you look hard enough, it's just a tumble of rocks and trees. The elk get a little bit confused in pathfinding on this. I'm not entirely too sure why. It's like some sort of grass, brittle grass, I guess, because it's the winter time. But anyway, I'm gonna herd this close to my den, and that's essentially what I will be doing. Now, because this is easy mode, you might need about, at least 6, maybe 5, near your den. You don't have to worry too much. Oops. I failed to, do that. Alright, see, as you can see, it's rather close to my den. You'll need about 5 or 6 for the journey, and this easy mode is why. Just around your den in general is fine. Journey food, you might need 1 or 2 more, maybe just 1. So, go ahead and eat up real quick, and then when you're done, you can head over and continue the hunt. Now, because this is going to be a bit tedious, I'm going to go ahead and pause here and let you know when I get done here. Hello, I am back. I just wanted to show you something really funny. The elk can't actually get up on the river edge right now because it's too steep for them. So, I'm not gonna figure this out. I'm probably gonna have to leave the hunting territory, which is funny because I already have, yet the herd is outside of it. I'll figure it out. Maybe I might just save and reload the game so that I can... Oh, look, there's one. Well, I will be right back. Alright, I am at least 75% sure I have enough food here to last through spring. As you can see by those little purple clouds off there in the distance, I made some journey food. You know what, 75% would not be good enough. I will be right back. Okay, I am almost... There we go. 100% certain now that we will survive through spring. What do you guys think? Probably a bit too much, especially for easy mode. I apologize for decimating an elk herd, but survival of the pack right here. All right, I think that would about do it. Let's go ahead and go in to get our den. So, I am now ready for the second part of the quest. I did mention this was also an educational game, so here comes the next part called scent marking. You need to establish a territory, much like the wolves in real life. And by doing this, you essentially scent mark or howl as well. But scent marking is basically peeing on trees. If you've seen dogs do it, you know what I'm talking about. That's not just them going and peeing on trees. They're actually trying to mark their territory or let people know they were there. So, that's what wolves do. It's an instinct they use to tell predators, such as that grizzly bear that refuses to leave, to go away. So I'm going to say make this den. So as you can see, it says mission completed. Congratulations, you chose a den to raise your pups. You are ready to continue your quest. Let me see if I can get rid of this grizzly. Please go away. Go away. Alright, so this is essentially what you do. You scent mark, or you can howl to increase the territory span. Right here is a little weak, but if you cut off your howl, you're not going to get the bonus from scent marking or territory claim. So you'll have to do it again, and you'll see in a few moments this tiny little plus sign. There we go, plus 11. But I'm just going to go ahead and do this real quick. I will be right back. Alright, it says mission completed as we've thoroughly marked our territory. Stated this is our territory. We can now safely start our pup rearing. So I'm going to say okay. And as you can see, we now have pups. So there are 2 males and 2 females. Here comes the second secret spoiler I mentioned earlier. I'm not going to name these quite just yet because I don't know their coat colors, but essentially when you get a certain XP cap, you will get a special coat color for one of your pups. And I'll show you that in a moment. Our next quest is to train our pups. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to look at that real quick. You'll essentially need to get this blue bar filled all the way, and I will probably go over this next time as I'm probably going to close off this one video, as it's getting probably a little lengthy. So I'm going to choose pretty easy, so we definitely don't want to get too anyway. So the special coat color is like completely white, but it's actually gray, but we'll just say white. And I'm gonna go ahead and name our pups real quick before I sign off. Alright, I think that looks about right. We have George, Deer, Lily, and Frost. This is where I'm gonna leave off at, simply because there are a lot of quests involving the pup rearing. So if you have liked what you've seen so far, please like and subscribe.